Hey guys, Josiah here, easycaters.com. I wanted to go over the trades for the day on MU that I was looking at today using my relative shares per trade indicator, which is available on the site, and also using Equivolume charts on a 2-minute time frame. And so that's kind of what I look at. I also look at the VWAP Z-score, standard deviations around VWAP as kind of a gauge of value locations or how extended a stock is getting. But I kind of simplified it down here to make this real easy to see entries and exits and so forth. Anyway, so this was the morning. We had a kind of a downtrending day, gapped up a little bit in the morning, and then traded down to fill the gap. And through this, I was just kind of waiting and watching for a, with this downtrend context, I was looking for a short signal, and there was nothing that I saw that would let me get short. No signals appeared for me. I did have, this reversal type of situation here. We got a long bottoming tail, and then a reversal candle here, and then on this low volume pullback, this offered some context for a long, but it wasn't really a valid signal for me. But just something to keep an eye out on. This weak sell-off here, indicating that there's not a lot of interest in going lower. So we do make one more push lower and make just a little bit of marginal progress lower, and you get these absorption tails here, and then we have a super high commitment bar right here. You can see down here it's way off the chart, and that's saying, and this is a green candle going in the opposite direction, so it's kind of like giving us some reversal context. Immediately after we get a really low, weak counter, I guess, downtrending bar, down bar, and so the volume kind of dries up right here. It's like, what are we doing? Now, in retrospect, this is probably all institutional absorption of this sell-off here. They're providing liquidity as it comes down, and this is just a level that institutions are interested in buying at, this general area here. And so there's a lot of orders waiting to be filled as the smaller traders are dumping their shares and so forth in panic. And so the institutions are absorbing all that, and that's probably the reason for this these higher than average share sizes here. And this gives us the so in that kind of context, all this red here is actually probably better looked at as being all green. But then we get this high volume green bar here, and this changes the picture pretty dramatically here. Now it's definitely looking more green. Now, this is the point at which I started looking to take a long. It would have been valid probably to take an early entry over this red candle as this one broke above it, and that one would have worked fine with a stop below here. But I actually looked at it as a break above this candle with a stop below here, and there was also an entry right here, a break above this candle with a stop below there. So any of those three entries would have been valid. None of them got stopped out, and got you on board for this whole move right here. Now I only took it up to about right in this area, right at the whole number. I got my 2 R's there. Right as this bar started showing some resistance. You can see it had a topping tail and kind of a more square shape to it, indicating some resistance. Then we had some high commitment come in to take it higher after I had already exited the last part of my position. I had a small position on, but it got me my 2 R's for my risk unit. And if I'd had the shares to hold, this would have been a really nice trade for the rest of the day, or the rest of the morning anyway. So it continued, did a nice pivot here. This one you could have taken a long over the break of this red, any of these reds here. At least this one, and this one. These would have all been valid entries if they had triggered. This one finally did trigger with this green, and continued higher. We had this one could have been an entry here. It didn't quite maybe touch the MA, so I probably wouldn't have been aggressive enough to take that one, but it probably did work. At least, yeah, it looks like it did work for 2 Rs there. So that would have been a valid, not really a valid entry for me, but it's definitely a signal there. So depending on how aggressive you want to be with it, that could have been taken. Now we have marginal high made here above the morning's high of the day. We'll get some sharp sell-off on low volume, and then the volume picks up here. We've got no real signals yet here. This could have been taken as a short underneath the low of this green, underneath the low of this green as well. Looks like it triggered in right there. I can't tell for sure. It looks like it got to 1 R, and if you trailed break even, you would have trailed out. Yeah, so part of the trading plan is to consider trailing to break even as it reaches the 1 R target, and or at least trailing to half risk at 1 R. It looks like this one would have trailed out, and then we had, let's see, we had a weak candle right here that could have been taken as a long, the break over this red, and it looks like that one would have probably gotten to 1 R and then probably trailed out as well. So now we're getting into this range. Got some commitment on some down moves here, and a small green candle here that could have been taken as a low break short. It's not really that great because this is such a high commitment and all of this is kind of low dried up volume, so it's not really that interesting, but it may work here. Yeah, so it looks like this one, let's see, went 1 R, so this one probably would have trailed out as well. I don't really see a signal in there. Since we're getting such low volume down here, the candles are getting really thin down here during the lunch hour. So this one, so we have, I'm seeing this is really light volume pullback, so it's like nobody's interested in taking it higher here. Otherwise, I could see this as a long signal. You could take this on a break over that red, but it's more behaving like this is now the downward direction is now the primary direction, and this is just a light volume pullback. So, and it looks like, so here you had a potential short. Yeah, so this one could, or it could have worked. It looks like it probably got, nah, it didn't quite get to 1 R. So this one looks like it didn't really stop you out. It's just kind of stuck in no man's land. It ranged around for a while and finally got to, looks like 1 R, and that would have been 2 Rs there. So yeah, that one eventually got to target if you kept your stop in the original location. Got some volume coming in here finally, but not really much commitment. And there is some context there, some commitment in the long direction. I don't really see a signal yet though. So we've got light volume, light commitment red bars here, which can be good for a long trade above. On a break above those, looks like that would have. So a break above this candle, which is not ideal because it's high commitment, but these were low volume, low commitment, so I probably would have trailed a stop limit entry over the tops of these. Looks like it triggered in with a stop under here. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's 1R at this point. It may have just gotten to 2Rs there. Yeah, so there's 2Rs before switching back. So got a light volume green candle here. So this would be a valid short. Low volume and low commitment. And it looks like that one would have worked for 2Rs. I don't see any other signals here, and it looks like that's the close. So several trades through the lunch hour. We had a lot of chop, but we didn't get really hurt too bad because of the rule that lets us trail to break even after the stock moves 1R. And the thing is that when you get in on a break of a on a long trade, if you get in on the break of a red candle, the likelihood is that the stock is the price is going to move substantially past that because of the stops being run. And the same thing on the downside. If you get on a break of a green candle, the likelihood is that the stock is going to move substantially past that due to stops being hit. So that improves the odds that at least you'll get to the 1R mark, where you can then trail to zero risk to a break-even stop, so that if you're stuck in a range like this, that you won't get hurt too bad when things reverse around, and you can just be in for when it finally does break and continue in the direction of the of your entry. Then you've taken all the entries that it gave you. Some of them trailed out, some of them took you to target, and eventually you are in for the bigger move where it gets you to the full 2R target down here, and the one where you can get in right here and take you to the 2R target there. And I think the same thing right here. Got another 2R target right there. So probably, I think it was 3 scratched entries in here, basically break even, commission cost kind of trades, and then 3 good decent afternoon trades. And of course there were these 3 really nice entries here, good entry here. Could have taken an aggressive entry there, but I probably wouldn't have done it myself. So anyway, I'm seeing about 6 good trades perhaps, and 3 scratch trades for the day. That's what I see. I just wanted to go over those for my own benefit and yours, and I think this helps kind of reinforce the system into my brain, and helps the entries leap out to me from the chart, and hopefully it'll help you as well. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.